Hey YouTube, Planet Aquarium MN just bringing you a quick product update and talk about a slight modification I'm going to be making to my 120 Discus tank. Currently I've got a Eshopps PF-1000 dual overflow box that has two drain hoses draining into the bio tower of my wet dry. I've got a wet dry plumbed to a second sump which acts as a freshwater refugium and has also my return reservoir and my return pump in it. Those are plumbed together with two 2-inch bulkheads. And what I picked up here is an Eshopps PF-300 overflow box. So I'm going to be adding a second overflow box to my wet dry, to my filtration system. The difference is this is not going to be feeding into my bio tower at all. This is going to be draining into a filter sock. This is a an Eshopps 4.5 by 7 inch 200 micron filter sock. I do have a filter sock holder coming. I did have one arrive with this on Friday. It was broken, so I sent it back, and I'm waiting for the replacement to come. Until that time, I'm going to MacGyver something and get this suspended in my sump. But this is going to be filtering and draining exclusively into the filter sock. It just adds one more layer of mechanical filtration, and it's just going to help remove some of those finer particles that you see floating around in your water column. Now this PF-300 is only rated for 300 gallons an hour, so it's not going to be dumping a ton of volume into this filter sock, but it's going to be dumping enough into that filter sock that it's going to help keep the water cleaner. And with Discus, they love their clean water. They don't like a lot of particles suspended. It's just better hygiene. So I don't know if it's the pool filter sand or what it is, but my Discus are always picking at the substrate, and there just seems to be, you know, more particles floating through my water column than I really care to see. Now, don't get me wrong, my current filtration system works extremely well, and my water is extremely clean, but this is going to take it up even one more notch. So anyways, I'm going to get this hooked up on the tank, and we're going to check it out, see how it's working. We're going to put our MacGyver skills together, see if we can't get this suspended into the sump right now of the wet dry until the official filter sock holder comes, and we'll go from there. Okay, well, I decided to hold off on my MacGyver skills with the filter sock because I received an update from Amazon. My package was delayed due to inclement weather, and that's why it didn't arrive. But I've got the replacement filter sock holder here. It's an Eshopps. I'm going to go ahead and unbox this. Not on video. I'm just going to go ahead and open this up, take it out, and then we'll pick up the video from there. Again, this is the Eshopps PF-LG for large. Comes in 3 different sizes. Again, it's got a small 4-inch round version. It's got this LG, the large version, which holds 2 of these 4.5 by 7-inch micron filter socks. And then there's an extra large version that holds 2 of these. It'll have 2 bulkheads and holds 2 filter socks. I didn't need anything that big for my 120 tank, but essentially all this is a bent piece of acrylic with a bulkhead on it. Slides over an aquarium rim, or in my case it's going to slide over the back rim of my wet dry sump. And up here it's got a couple of grooves for this filter sock to slide into. The filter sock has a plastic rim on it, and that slides down into this channel here on each side. And then you can put your drain hose, connect it with 1-inch PVC into the bulkhead. And that's what I'm going to do. So now a lot of people, not a lot, but some people have been complaining about this particular filter sock holder as having some issues around these bends here. Where the acrylic is bent, it loses a little bit of strength and integrity, and some people have been complaining that theirs are arriving with cracks. Now this is the second unit that I got. The first one, this back part was completely broken off, so I definitely can relate. If you do pick up this filter sock holder, as long as it arrives in one piece, it should be good to go. But you know, do check out those corners to see if there's any cracks or any issues there with the strength or integrity. But I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted on the tank. We're going to get the filter sock in place, and then we'll follow up and give a conclusion and go from there. Okay, I've got the Eshopps PF-LG Filter Sock holder mounted on my wet dry. I've got it hanging over the back edge of the first sump of my double sump filtration system here. It's just literally hanging over the back. And then I've got the 4.5 by 7 inch 200 micron filter sock slid in place. Out of the top of the bulkhead, I've got a 90-degree elbow with 1-inch PVC attached to my hose, my drain hose. And then in the bottom of the bulkhead, I've got about a 12-inch length piece of 1-inch PVC cut. And that's just held in place. I didn't glue it into place. That's just pushed into place. And the reason I have that on there is to take the drain down to at least the water level. If not, the water is going to be coming out of just coming out of the bulkhead right here, falling down about 12 inches, splashing, making additional noise. And this just helps quiet it and reduces any additional noise that it might make. Now again, this filter sock holder is being fed with this drain hose here that's attached to my new Eshopps PF-300 overflow box. I've got my canopy off my tank so we can see this. There's the new PF-300 single U-tube right there. That's feeding my filter sock exclusively. The water coming down through there just goes through the filter sock. It doesn't go through my bio tower over here through any of the biological media that I have in the wet dry or the wet portion. Doesn't go through any of the chemical filtration that I might have here. Right now I just have a few bags of Purigen over here. That comes down into my heater reservoir where I've got my 2 heaters. Goes through the 2 2-inch bulkheads, flows into my other sump where I've got my freshwater refugium, and then through a final foam block into my return reservoir where I've got the Quiet 1 5000 return pump. Now I have been able to open up my ball valve completely wide open. So by adding this additional overflow box and this filter sock holder, I've been able to max out my pump flow, picking up another 300 plus, maybe 250 to 350 gallons an hour of flow through this tank. You know, it's still decent flow coming through this tank, but it's not too much for these Discus. So that's it. Again, this filter sock is just added for an additional layer of mechanical filtration to get out those finer particles and just make this water as pristine as I can possibly make it for these fish. So it's looking real good so far. I've started the filter up. It's been going for a few minutes, and I'm sure it's going to be a worthwhile investment, and I'm glad I added it for these fish. So anyways, I appreciate everybody checking in. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you have any comments, let me know. Any questions, let me know. And I definitely appreciate everybody taking the time out of your day to watch my video. And like always, we'll catch you guys later.